Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to do biology chapter 3 or 4. No, it's chapter 6, I believe. Photosynthesis. So, autotrophic nutrients in plant. We know that all the living organisms consume some form of nutrients to sustain life. Animal consume plant or other animal. Plant consume carbon dioxide and water from the environment to produce food. Therefore, the process of taking in a source of energy, which is all we'll say food, for from outside the body of the organism to inside is known as nutrition. Do you know what mode of nutrient is carried out by the plants? Plants have an autotrophic mode of nutrition. The term autotrophic is derived from a Greek word auto means self and trophic means nutrients. In this mode of nutrition, the plant prepare or synthesize their own food with the help of inorganic raw material, thus they are known as autotrophic. That is clear. In Let us explore the preparation of food in plant. Okay, photosynthesis. Energy is essential for all the living process. uh, all living organisms require nutrients. What is the ultimate source of nutrition on earth? Okay, so let's see the answer. The sun is the ultimate source of energy on earth. Energy from the sun is captured by plant and converted into unstable form. Thus, the thus the un, ori, origin of all food is the food prepared by the plant. This food is consumed by the animal, then further as the food chain continues. So autotrophies such as green plant and some bacteria prepare or synthesize their own food. They are capable of trapping solar energy with the help of green pigment called chlorophyll. This trap solar energy is then converted into chemical energy of food using CO2 and H2O. Photosynthesis is the process by which chlorophyll contain cell present in leaf synthesis food in form of carbohydrate by using carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. Therefore, the raw material required for photosynthesis are CO2, H2O and product formed by CO2. Hence, this process is represented as. So wait, I know it is a bit difficult to understand what happened above, so let me just quickly explain you using this equation. So 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O. So the reaction taken by of carbon dioxide and uh, water in presence of sunlight, which is trapped due to chlorophyll, trapped by chlorophyll, produces 6 C6H12O6, which is glucose, plus 6O2, which is oxygen. So we can, from this equation we could derive everything. We could understand everything which I just said before, that in the presence of carbon dioxide and water, in the presence of sunlight which is trapped by the chlorophyll, it prepares glucose and releases oxygen. So let us discuss the raw material required for the photosynthesis. How are the raw material consumed by plant? The raw material required for photosynthesis are CO2 and H2O, and the products formed are carbohydrate and oxygen. Entry of raw material. Plant obtain water through their roots. Water is then transported to all part of the plant with the help of xylem. Exchange of gases. Entry of CO2 and release of O2 occurs through stomata. Stomata are the tiny pore present on the surface of the leaf. They are also present on the surface of young stem root. We have discussed this in our previous video of transpiration. Stomata consist of a stomatal opening or stom stoma stoma, which is surrounded by the two distinct epidermal cell known as guard cell. The opposing inner wall of guard cell are thick and inelastic. The remaining are thin and elastic. theory behind stomatal opening and closing, we will do that. Okay, so theory about opening and closing of stomata. Sugar concept theory. Opening and closing occur during daytime. Sugar produce increase in osmotic pressure. Guard cell become turgid and burst out. Closing occur when water consists of leaf falls short. Okay, water is drawn out by the guard cell. The inner thick wall then closes due to the lack of water, and this get inflated. And K plus ion concept theory. Opening K plus ion is synthesized in daytime. It is drawn more water from the adjacent cell. Guard cell become turgid and bulge out. K plus leaks out in night, reducing the turgor of the guard cell. Hence they straighten and close. Okay, how does plant control opening and closing of stomata? Two phases of photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis occurs in two phases. One is photochemical phases and one is biosynthesis phases. So what is photochemical phase? A series of chemical reaction takes place in the presence of light. The light behave as the catalyst is called photochemical phase. The light reaction takes place through thylakoid thylakoids of the chloroplast. So the photochemical reaction, I believe, we have studied that in ninth standard of what is a photochemical reaction, which the reaction which takes place in presence of sunlight. It is same thing. That is one phase. And now the light reaction, as the name suggests, this reaction takes place in the presence of light. Light energy is absorbed by chlorophyll molecule and is utilized of splitting water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Addition to the phase of assimilarity power in the form of ATP and NADPH2 are produced. So light reaction occur in membrane of thylakoids. Okay, so now event occurring during the light reaction: absorption of light energy by chlorophyll molecule, splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen atom, formation of ATP and NADPH2. So the reaction in photolysis: NADP plus electron plus minus charge the minus charge electron plus hydrogen of plus charge, and then enzyme forms NADPH, and then 2O is equal to O, gives O2. So ADP plus phosphate give ATP. Okay, and now biosynthetic phase, it includes the reaction that are not dependent on light. It result in synthesis of carbohydrates or food using the energy produced through light reaction. Now what is dark reaction? The reaction does not require direct light and occurs in stomata of chloroplast during the phase ATP and NADPH2 utilizing for the reduction of CO2 to carbohydrate. So event occurring during the dark reaction. Okay, reduction of CO2 to form carbohydrate, transformation of glucose molecule to 1 mole of starch is called polymerization. So highly simplified summary of the event in light reaction and light independent reaction of photosynthesis. So you can see the diagram, you can take a screenshot of it if you want, or this same diagram is there in your book also. So yeah, some interesting fact. Okay, so let me tell you some interesting fact. Do you know that the total amount of O2 produced an by an RC of a tree per year is equal to the amount of consumed by around 18 people manually? Then one tree produce 260 pounds of O2 annually. So please plant trees. Okay, that's very important for nature. So let's continue. Hydrogen is a clean fuel. Some green algae such as Chlamydomonas Reinhardti are being cultured to convert water into O2 and H2. The mass production of hydrogen could be proved to be uh, beneficial, but still it is under research. Okay, so now end result of photosynthesis: glucose. Simple glucose is utilized by the plant by following ways: for consumption by plant cell, for storage or as insoluble starch, for conversion of to conversion into sucrose, for synthesis of fat, protein, etc. Water, it is reutilized to continue photosynthesis. Oxygen, some of it is used by respiration of the leaves and rest is diffused out. Now global warming. So do you know that the global warming can be reduced by growing more trees? As I said before, green plants, as we know, utilize CO2 and water to produce food, and in the process release O2 gas. Thus, green plant help in reducing amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. CO2 is a greenhouse. It's a greenhouse gas, which is one of the reason of the global warming. So, chloroplast, the site of photosynthesis. Mesophyll cell in green leaves have large number of chloroplasts, which are the site of photosynthesis. Chloroplast consist of grana and the stroma lamella, forming a membrane system and a fluid stomata. Membrane system of chloroplast traps the light and sun and synthesizes ATP and NADPH. So now stroma CO2 is incorporated into the plant by enzymatic reaction leading to the synthesis of sugar. Okay, so now chloroplasts are allied along the walls of mesophyll cell as so as to get optimized light. You can see the diagram, pigmentation involved. So an absorption of spectrum is the graph plotted against the fraction of light absorbed by the pigment. An active spectrum is the rate of physiological activity plotted against the wavelength of light. The symbol of the action spectrum of photosynthesis and absorption of spectrum of chloroplast tell us that the chlorophyll are the most important pigment in the process. This is the graph. You can take screenshot or your notes, that's totally up to you. So a absorption in the A diagram, we can see absorption spectrum of chlorophyll. A, B are carotenoids, you can see. Okay, now action spectrum of photosynthesis, and C, the spectrum superimpose on absorption spectrum of chlorophyll of okay. So now four types of pigment may present in leaves: chlorophyll A, blue green; chlorophyll, then xanthophyllis, then carotenoids, then uh, chlorophyll A in the main pigment in photosynthesis in Vibgor's spectra. Chlorophyll shows the maximum absorption. Then hence the rate of photosynthesis is highest at the blue and red region. Absorption of pigment chlorophyll B xanthoids at carotenoids absorb wider range of light, transferring the energy to chlorophyll. Uh, uh, Chlorophyll protects chlorophyll to form photooxidization factor affecting the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is influenced by the internal factor and external factor. Internal factor, number of size of oriented of leaves, then cell chloroplast, internal carbon dioxide concentration and amount of chlorophyll. External factor, ability of sunlight, temperature, carbon dioxide concentration and water. Law of limiting factor, it is a chemical process, it's affected more than one factor, then will be determined the factor with the nearest minimum value. So this is the law is limiting the factor by Blackman 1905. Light. So incident light CO2 fixation rate by the higher intense intensities, the rate does not increase further as the other factor become limiting. Light is rarely a limiting factor. Then beyond a point of incident, light is decreased. It lead to the decrease in photosynthesis due to the breakdown of chlorophyll. Now CO2 concentration, major limitation factor. Usually the atmosphere is 0.03 to 0.02% for up to 0.5 increase rate CO2 fixation, and 0.05 is a damaging effect. Okay, so now temperature, darker area, then that would be water. If there is a if the water is not there, the stomata guard won't open. This would lead furthermore discontinuity for photosynthesis. Now let's start with the importance of photosynthesis and carbon cycle. So adaptation in leaves for photosynthesis. Leaf often exhibit a number of adaptation to increase rate of photosynthesis. Some are as follows: large surface area for maximum absorption, leaf arranged at correct angle for maximum light, transparent cuticles and upper epidermis to allow free entry of light, larger number of stomata and for maximizing exchange of gases, thin leaves to reduce between the cell involved in rapid transportation, chloroplast concentration at the upper to absorb light quickly, extensively vein system for rapid transportation. So now importance of photosynthesis: it provides food, provides oxygen. So see, basically photosynthesis is a process for a plant to prepare its food to which it could survive. Okay, so as the end result of the photosynthesis is glucose, which is required for every living being in this planet. So that also it helps in plant and for their survival. Now provides oxygen. Oxygen is very important for humans and many animals. So the release of oxygen is also one of the importance of photosynthesis. So now carbon cycle. Carbon cycle is a series of chemical reaction in which carbon as a chemical element gets consumed by living organism and again gets restored in atmosphere by various means. So you can see the so sunlight, photosynthesis, then organic carbon, dead organism, fossil fuel, carbonated, then factories, plant transpiration, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and then carbonates in water. So allotropes use carbon dioxide to produce carbohydrate through photosynthesis. Okay, so these are some few importance. And from here we have completed our chapter. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.